Malnutrition. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to define malnutrition, describe the two forms of malnutrition, explain the causes and symptoms of undernutrition and overnutrition. Like all mothers, I love my family very much. My home is my world, and I never think beyond the well-being of my family. My husband works for the village head and takes care of his accounts. We lived happily with two lovely kids. My elder son, Shekai, was 5 years old, and my younger daughter, Ruby, was 2 years old. I was keen in keeping my children active and healthy. But suddenly, I sensed that my children's health was getting worse. This is my story as a mother in Tambiyamma, Bambali district, who struggles for her children's health. As a mother, I fed my family with care. Yet, I noticed that my daughter's body had become weak and her hair color had changed from black to reddish brown with thick strands of hair falling off. At one point, she refused to eat and stopped playing with her friends. She looked dull and tired all the time. Her arms became very thin and her abdomen started to swell. I was able to count her ribs as well. When this was the condition of my daughter, I was able to notice some changes in my elder son too. He suddenly became stout and was lethargic and dull. I received complaints from his teacher that he always sleeps in class and doesn't concentrate much. At the beginning, I was glad that he was the class topper, but now his grades had dropped down. I was confused and didn't know how to resolve these problems. I discussed the symptoms with my husband and he pursued the support of the village head. The village chief suggested us to immediately consult a healthcare provider. So, finally we visited the health center located at the hilltop. The doctor examined our kids for an hour and stated that both the kids were malnourished. I was shocked to hear the word malnourished because I fed them the same food that all the villagers do. She told me that my daughter was undernourished while my elder son was overnourished. I looked at my husband in dismay and we both looked at our kids. The doctor was so gentle to explain the condition in detail. She told us that undernutrition occurs when people do not get enough nutrition like carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamins, and minerals that is required to maintain healthy tissues and organ function. The deficiency of nutrients directly affects the immunity and growth of children, and in severe cases, it can even lead to death. Such children may also encounter clinical disorders like hypothyroidism, anemia, and xerophthalmia. I was dumbstruck to know that the major cause of death in children was protein energy malnutrition, which occurs due to less consumption of protein. The two types of protein energy malnutrition are kwashiorkor and marasmus. Kwashiorkor is a condition in children who are subjected to severe protein deficiencies. It usually appears between the ages of 1 and 5 years. It leads to hair discoloration, skin peeling, and weight loss. The children appear swollen, especially at the abdomen, legs, and feet due to the accumulation of fluids. Marasmus is a protein energy malnutrition which is most common in children below 1 year, especially in kids who have not been breastfed. Such children show stunted growth with severe weight loss. Other symptoms include loss of appetite, diarrhea, dehydration, stomach shrinkage, discoloration of hair, low body temperature, and slow pulse and breathing rate. The doctor continued that the main cause for protein energy malnutrition in several countries is famine and poverty. Some of the other causes are lack of awareness on food and nutrition, unhealthy eating habits, eating disorders, and poor absorption of nutrients. She declared that Ruby was affected by protein energy malnutrition and that she needed immediate medications to avoid complications. She prescribed medicines that would improve her appetite and also recommended liquid protein supplements. She also suggested a diet that was rich in proteins and carbohydrates. She asked me to feed Ruby with small quantities of food at frequent intervals. She assured us a speedy recovery of Ruby upon proper care. This brought a sense of relief, and I inquired about Shekai's problem. The doctor told us that overnutrition also has its own effects and consequences like undernutrition. Overnutrition results due to overconsumption of nutrients as well as eating too much of wrong foods. In Shekai's case, I had been feeding him high-calorie diet. So, Shekai's weight was not proportional to his height and age. She told us that this disorder could affect any body system and the senses of hearing, sight, taste, and smell. It may also cause mood swings, anxiety, and some psychiatric symptoms. The worst part was overnutrition results in obesity, which in turn increases the risk of serious health problems like cardiovascular disorder, hypertension, and type 2 diabetes. Well, she also explained us the causes of obesity. Consuming high-calorie foods or too much of nutrients beyond the recommended limits. Leading a sedentary lifestyle. Not sleeping enough. Endocrine disruptors, that is, consuming foods that interfere with lipid metabolism. Medications that influence body weight. Genetic disorders. Finally, she suggested me to follow a strict diet plan which was low in calories and fat and high in proteins, vitamins, and minerals. She suggested us to increase his physical activities by at least 30 minutes every day. With a sense of gratitude, we thanked the doctor and returned home. I was happy to learn about my children's problems at an early stage. Henceforth, I began to focus on the quality of food rather than quantity. I shared the effects of malnutrition to our neighbors too. The village head arranged for a community meeting to bring awareness on malnutrition among the villages. Summary. Let us do a recap of what we have learned so far. Malnutrition is the condition that develops when the body does or does not get the right amount of nutrients. Undernutrition occurs when people do not get enough nutrition like carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamins, and minerals. Overnutrition results in obesity, which in turn increases the risk of serious health problems such as cardiovascular disorder, hypertension, and type 2 diabetes.